thank you so much for coming today. It truly means so much to our graduates and means so much to us as well. Well, stories are baked into our DNA as people. Long ago, stories of legends and myths and exploits were told around campfires while chomping on some tasty barbecue. Stories were turned into songs, and traveling musicians carried them from place to place, ensuring that the fair or the foul deeds of man and beast were remembered far beyond their years. Then alphabets and the written word was developed, and the human race began reporting more stories. Stories told through oral tradition were put to ink and parchment. Songs were translated into texts, and histories were recorded for future generations. Stories were written on tablets, papyrus, parchment, stone, scrolls, and now we're back to writing stories on tablets again. The invention of the movable type printing press revolutionized the way that people interacted with stories. The ability to produce stories via printed books on a large scale for a comparatively low cost was unheard of previous to Gutenberg's invention. For the first time, stories were accessible to more than just the educated elite or designated singers and storytellers. People learned to read, and communication to the masses, including the telling of tales and fictional stories, became part of our everyday lives. As aspiring storytellers, it's crucial to the craft to understand that stories dwell within the human heart. And though mediums of storytelling have changed over time, the power of stories to teach, inspire, and connect people across countries and cultures and many other divides remains the same and holds so much power. It's our heart and passion at the Author Conservatory to not merely teach our students to put pen to paper or a typewriter or a computer screen, but to let the foundations of storytelling really seep into your bones and your consciousness until it becomes as much a part of you as your breath and your heartbeat, to show you how to journey with Jesus through the storytelling process and let humility and the wisdom of those who have taken this path before you be your precious guides. By not just teaching you how to write a traditional novel, although we do a lot of that, but also showing you how to practice and internalize what makes good stories effective, our desire is to empower the next generation of storytellers in a variety of mediums. You may tell stories to your audience through a traditional book, or you may bring your stories to the world through graphic novels, comics, video games, film, television, or some form not yet invented. Regardless of the method of the storytelling, as we look at the rich tradition of storytelling through the ages, patterns begin to emerge. Jesus used simple, straightforward stories to convey deep, timeless truth that continue to speak to us thousands of years later. And yet the format and the storytelling pieces that make them powerful are ones that are used by storytellers for generations after him, and also us. I've been teaching storytelling to authors for many years. If you want to know how long, you can ask me later. And have been a student of the craft for many years before that. And always my primary question has been the same. What makes certain stories connect and appeal to readers and audiences across vast divides and to long-lasting effect? We speak often of the legacies of fantasy greats like C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien. And a careful study reveals again that the building blocks of their arguably genre-defining works are familiar ones. So what can we learn from those who have gone before us? How can we use these foundational pieces and truths to create timeless impact, while adding our unique voices to speak to the times in which we live? I like to think of this practice of crafting a story like building a house. If you've never tried putting one together before, your first several attempts alone are likely to be disastrous at best. Your wallpaper may be chic, your new couch, the ultimate in comfort, but without proper knowledge of structural support, the roof will likely come down on your head in the middle of your movie night. But with the help of skilled and experienced carpenters and craftsmen, you can build a house that's strong and served its intended purpose. Your house becomes a trustworthy canvas for you to apply your individual style and turn your solid structure into a safe and a welcoming place to invite friends and family, aka your readers, to come and to be blessed. Graduates, our program invited you to come apprentice with us and learn through this journey from experienced professionals of the writing craft. We supplied the house blueprints to choose from, the foundation, structural beams of plot and world building and character development. You brought a teachable mindset and your unique perspective, digging deep into the heart of stories and applying your creativity and your rich imagination to make your book house a home that both feels like you and is structurally sound. It's with great love of both craft and storytellers that we've walked this Author Conservatory road with you and showed you how to unlock the foundational pieces of storytelling that have supported and amplified the words of storytellers before you. And it's our privilege to celebrate each and every one of you in spreading your wings and embarking on the next stage and season of your author journey, while also being a safe place to come back to when you need guidance, support, an encouraging word, or someone to genuinely celebrate you with you. Every single win, big and small. It's been a unique joy to walk beside one student in particular over the last 3 years, from numerous critique calls where we worked to untangle complicated themes and plot threads, to messages and conference coffee dates, wrestling through questions of identity, perseverance, hope through trials on this journey with Jesus and each other. Hers has been an incredible journey through pain and struggles into healing and beautiful fruit. And every step of the way, she's brought encouragement and refreshment to everyone she encounters. I was speaking to a former student at this conference, and I think she said it very well. Ruth is the best of us. So it's my immense joy to welcome Ruth Nguyen to the stage.
Hello, everyone. It's an honor to be here with my fellow graduates and instructors who've worked so hard for this day, and to get to speak about my experience in the Author Conservatory fiction program. There's so much that I, or many other members of the class of 2025 could say about what we learned in the program. 3-act structure, applying professional feedback, writing ideas that will sell, using mini dinos to solve plot holes. We've been eating, sleeping, and breathing stories. But as I thought about all of the faces of the people who are sitting in the graduate section today, I realized that the most important thing the fiction team taught us is how to live our own stories. In the full scope of a human life, 3 years is the blink of an eye. But for many of us, 3 years could be anywhere from 10 to 20% of how long we've lived so far. That's a lot of change around us and a lot of growth inside of us. And whether we intend to or not, we feed all of that, our experiences, our shifts in perspective, and our feelings into the books that we write. That looks different for each of us. Some had to fight imposter syndrome or burnout. Some received difficult diagnoses that changed their lives. Others have had to walk the long, winding road of grief. To my classmates, I am so proud of you for making it through. For myself, there's nowhere I'd have rather grown than the Author Conservatory. And I can't imagine the season of my life without our entire fiction department. Last year, as our founding class graduated, our co-founder, Brett Harris, said that he hoped their time in the program would have taught them to never stay in a relationship or an institution that did not value them. I was watching over live stream and had held off on getting teary. But when Brett said that, I broke down sobbing at my kitchen counter. Because I already knew what it was like to be in that relationship and in that institution where people are not loved, where they're not seen except as tools or assets, where those who are different don't get a seat at the table, and the vulnerable don't get a voice. I came into the conservatory at 21 years old, already carrying that experience with me. My plan was to write stories that would be a safe space for people like me. I didn't realize in order to do that, I needed a safe space of my own. Or that my safe space would be on critique calls with instructors who didn't just see my writing. They saw a human being named Ruth. On those calls, they showed me how to advocate for myself, made time for me to tell them how I was doing, even if it wasn't good. They showed me just how much I had to say, and they helped me to find the courage to say it. They had my back in ways that the world may never know. But I will remember them for the rest of my life. Earlier on in my time in the conservatory, more than one of our instructors told me that they hoped that my time with them would allow me to see the Lord restore the years that the locusts had eaten. And because of them, I have, in ways I never could have imagined. To my fellow graduates, I know each one of you has had your own challenges to overcome, and that we're all finishing the program with different lessons learned. But whatever that looked like for you, I hope you know that the way that our fiction team cared for us was truly exceptional. It's not normal to get to slow down or burnt out, pivot away from a project if it's triggering, or speak up and actually be heard. And I hope that each one of you can move forward in the world in confidence, knowing that this is how humans are supposed to be treated. This is how you are supposed to be treated. And I pray that we can pay it forward, that we can make space for others who aren't seen, extend compassion without regard for reciprocity, speak up when we see others being treated as less than, set healthy boundaries so we have time and energy for the things that matter in life. May the books we write, even if they're fiction, be a reflection of the kind of life that we are living, one of honesty, resilience, empathy, and generosity. I feel so blessed to be graduating alongside so many people who are already living those kinds of lives, including the ones that may go unnoticed, but you make the world a better place. You inspire me, and I cannot wait to see how many others you go on to impact. To our fiction instructors, Kara and Brett, thank you for believing in us. To my fellow graduates, I believe in you. Congratulations.